The following video contains language that may be inappropriate for young viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Welcome to Behind the Bars, where we bring the unseen and the unheard stories from the depths of the prison system to the forefront. I'm your host, Jason Boss, and together we'll explore the madness, the chaos, and the harsh realities hidden behind the steel doors of prisons worldwide. From the local jailhouse to death row across the world, we'll show you the isolation, the seclusion, and the decades spent enduring unimaginable conditions. These are the stories of survival, struggle, and humanity in places most of us will never see. We're here to shine a light on what society often forgets, the voices of the incarcerated. Each story is real, each voice is authentic, and every moment reveals the raw, unfiltered truth of life behind the bars. Join me for a journey like no other, a journey into the darkness, the truth, and the resilience of the human spirit. This is Behind the Bars, real life, real stories. Welcome to Behind the Bars, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jason Boss, and you are on the record. I have with me a brother out of Florida Penitentiary. His name is Eddie Powell, and we have the honor and the pleasure of having him on this podcast, and I can't thank him enough. Mr. Eddie Powell, how the heck are you?
I'm doing good, my brother. How you?
Doing good. Now, you are how old?
I'm 42.
Okay, 42. And how long have you been down right now?
I've been down right now since 2015.
2015, wow, long time. All right, and what charges do you have?
Well, they have me for aggravated assault on a Leo and a possession of a firearm. And the only reason why I have that because the canine officer that was involved in my case, he shot his own dog, so to speak, and killed the dog. And he got on his radio and went to screaming shots fired. So they thinking I'm killed the dog. And make a long story short, they come in there and shot me.
Wow, that's quite that's a crazy intro.
I was actually running away from them when they shot me. So they tried to start me off getting in a murdering a police officer charge because of the dog or whatever. Then they finally done the ballistics on the dog and found out that the officer killed his own dog.
Now, did the officer mean to, or did he miss shooting you?
No, he missed shooting me because it was just in the dark. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Really, he was in training the day that all this stuff occurred, and it was real dark. He couldn't see me, and the dog was on my leg, and I was, of course, trying to get the dog off of me.
So the dog had latched onto you?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
We was like deep in the bushes, and the officer, he couldn't get to us because I kind of jumped over the bushes, and the dog went under the bushes. So the officer, he just had the dog on the leash, and he turned his flashlight on and seen that I had the dog by his snout trying to get him to turn my leg loose. So he just gets his gun out and just starts shooting the whole cliff out.
Wow, so this guy was trying to hit you, like he was trying to kill you.
He was. I mean, he didn't even hit me one time. He hit the dog twice. And killed the dog. And as soon as the dog turned me loose, I started running.
Wow. And how many shots do you think that he fired off at you?
I know it was the whole clip. He even said it in his deposition. It's like 12, I think, 10 or 12.
Not
too many.
Well, yeah, you are. You may be blessed by the hand of the Creator to have survived something that close. How close was he when he started shooting?
I mean, within a dog's leash.
Wow, my brother.
Ain't no baby to it, my brother. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Blessed to be alive.
Absolutely. Now, did he say in his deposition why he just started firing? Was he scared, or what was his reasoning behind that?
I mean, he said I was hitting the dog, but that still ain't no excuse. Just pull out your gun and start shooting.
No, that's crazy.
And he said I pulled a gun on him, but there's no gun there. And he had no body camera footage. And the helicopter that was above that clearly seen me plain as day didn't see a gun in my hand.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's incredible. Let's take it back from to the very beginning. Where were you born at?
I was born in Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. That explains the accent that I hear with this, down south.
Yes, sir.
Savannah, Georgia. And how was your young life? Did you have both parents in the house?
I didn't. They broke up at an early age. I was 12 when they broke up.
And they, are they both alive still?
They are.
Okay.
They are. My mother, she's watching my kids while I'm in here.
Okay.
Kids.
Bless her heart.
I have custody of.
Bless her heart. Excellent. And tell me about your childhood. How did that go down? Were you in trouble? Were you not in trouble? Were you a normal kid? What did young life look like?
Well, before the 12-year-old, I was a pretty good child, but when my parents split, that's when things went downhill. I got in the street, started selling drugs in order to help my mother out. She didn't have no money to take care of me and my brother.
And this was at 12 you were selling drugs?
I was.
What kind?
In middle school, 8th grade.
8th grade. So what'd you start off selling?
Just marijuana to start off with, and ecstasy pills.
And so from the age of 12, you were basically hustling and grinding. And then, did you get caught during those days?
I got caught a couple times. It was some years after the first time I got caught. I was in high school, and it wasn't. I just did a couple days in county jail. That was it.
And what did your mom say? Did your mom know you were selling?
She didn't. She thought I was out there working, doing construction work.
And so what did she say when you ended up going to jail?
She was hurt pretty bad about it. She couldn't believe it. That I'd do something stupid as that. But I don't like seeing her go hungry and have nothing.
Sure. Absolutely. And did you have any contact with your dad after 12?
No, not. Very little.
And so he just disappeared?
Pretty much.
And so what happened during this time? Were you using drugs as well?
I was smoking a little marijuana, but that was about it. My focus was on money.
Okay. When was the first time that you smoked? What age?
It was 13.
13. And when was the next time that you stepped up into anything else besides that?
It was in my high school years, following year.
And it was ecstasy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you ever get anything else, or was it just those two?
It was just those two mainly. I got cocaine here and there, but it was just too much for me to do at one time.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay. So when did you what were you did you in school? Did you were you a good student? Did you get good grades? Did you graduate?
Yeah, I did. I actually went to college for a year and a half.
Okay. What'd you go for?
Construction management.
Okay. And everything good in school? Did you play sports, or did you do anything like that?
I didn't have time to play sports, but I kept the grades up.
Okay.
I was sincere about passing and trying to do the right thing, but doing the wrong thing at the same time.
Right. Definitely. Okay. So take me into your first arrest that you had in high school, and you did a couple days in county jail. How did that go down? How did you get busted on that part?
I had a girlfriend at school that I quit messing with. She kind of went and told the principal that I had some drugs on me that I was selling in school. They had brought the dog in there and went to my locker and found a drug. It was just a couple bags of marijuana.
And what happened? Were you arrested in front of everybody?
Yeah, I was.
How did that go down?
It wasn't too good. I mean, I took it like a man, but I was broken down on the inside.
It's tough. And so, your mom came to visit you at the county jail?
She did.
And did was it a bond out, or were you on probation after that?
Yeah, I had bonded out, but they put me on probation, which I completed at the time.
Okay. And how long were you on probation?
2 years.
Wow. And you maintained that. And so how old were you when you were busted?
The second time I really got busted was the year I graduated.
Okay. And this was a different incident than the first time?
Yes.
Okay. And how?
I got caught.
Go ahead.
I got caught a couple of times as far as in traffic violations. I got searched because obviously the police knows my name by now. I was in a small town next to Savannah.
And so
your name gets out there pretty quick. Small town. Yep.
And so you were around 18 years old. Is that when you got busted, the bigger one?
Yes.
And then how did that go down? Where it was just a traffic violation and they searched you and they hauled you in?
Yeah. Well, it's about 3 times I've got caught during like traffic violations.
Okay.
But the biggest time that I got caught with the drugs was I was at my house. And they kind of come kick my door in.
Oh, they raided you, huh?
Yeah.
And this was at your mom's house?
I was at the house I was paying for.
Oh, okay. And so you must have been, selling a decent amount of drugs for that to happen, right? Or did you have a snitch or something?
I was.
Okay. And
the guy that I grew up with that was selling weed for me, he got caught with a little bit that I didn't know about. He ended up putting the folks on me.
Okay. And did he testify?
He did.
And so this was around 1819 that this happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. And so what happened from there when you got busted? What were the charges and what was the time they gave you?
It was possession. I got possession with intent. I got obstructing, running from the officer at the time. I was trying to get away. That was pretty much it. The possession with intent.
And so you went to jail, and how long were you there, and what happened?
They give me it was 18 months detention center. That was back when they had detention centers up there.
Okay, and that was is that like a work center, or is that something else?
Yeah, it's just like I don't know what it is. It ain't a prison, but it's in between a prison and a county jail.
And so
work camp, I guess.
Okay, and so what did you do at this work center? Is it just you're just doing time, or do they try to get you jobs, or what's that look like?
Well, we had a detail. 10 of us would go out in a work van. My detail at that time was working at a recreation department. We kept all the grass cut and kept all the maintenance up on the yard and stuff.
And how did you?
Recreation department.
How did you do during that time? Did you have any infractions inside or any issues?
I tried to stay out of trouble because I wanted to get out of there and get back to my family.
Okay.
I did a good job as far as not getting into trouble while I was incarcerated.
You did 18 months in this detention center. And then what happened once you got out of there? Because you were about 21, 22?
I was 20 at the time.
Okay, that you
gave Christ my life during that time.
Okay. Beautiful.
And after that, I got out. I had my first child at that point.
Okay.
I didn't want to go back to jail, so I tried to get out there and start my own little construction business. I had some money saved up, and I got out there and just bought my tools, bought me a vehicle, and started doing my construction business, remodeling houses and stuff.
And how'd that go? How did your business do?
It went pretty good. It started off good anyway. And me and my girlfriend at the time went and had another child. I thought she was gonna be the one to be with for the rest of my life. So we started a little family, moved in together. I still started selling pills here and there, just trying to make extra money. That's where my downfall went at.
Did she know about you selling pills?
She did.
And was she okay with it?
She was used to the money. She was used to that kind of money. That's why I really couldn't. I had them fell in love with the money.
And
construction business, it ain't. You don't make as much money doing it as you did selling drugs. You know.
Right. Okay, so how long were you selling pills for? And did you get busted for that?
I ain't gonna say for that. But, eventually, 2 years later, I kind of took my focus off God and started back selling more drugs than I did from the start. And needless to say, there's one guy that was selling for me. He didn't want to pay me, and I ended up going to his house and putting the gun to his head. Not knowing his family was in the house with him, they all called the police on me. Down the road, I got locked back up and got an armed robbery charge.
And this is at 24?
Yeah, it's around about that time. When all that went down, I kind of gave up. And I just went ahead and admitted to everything. I was tired of running, tired of the life that I was living. I wasn't surrendered fully to God at the time, you know.
So you
like that to have
good
my foot in and the other foot out, so to speak.
And so you pled guilty to the armed robbery?
Yes, sir. I pleaded guilty to it. Gave him the gun and everything that I had. And I actually got 2 life sentences down there. Got 2 40-year sentences. On
just that armed robbery charge?
I did, because I was already on probation, and the judge that gave me the sentence told me if I ever came back in his courtroom that he was going to hide me for the rest of my life.
Wow. Okay, so
he wasn't playing.
Okay, and so are these the same charges you're in on now?
No, they ain't.
Okay.
They ain't.
So from 24 or ish, when you got these armed robbery charges, what happened? How much time did you do?
God made a miracle for me.
Okay.
That's when I woke up and realized he was real. I was at a prison in Waycross, Georgia. I was there for about 10 months. I done started working on maintenance and got in good with everybody. So I was kind of like I ain't gonna say a high-rank inmate, but anything tore up in the prison, you know, they'd call me to fix it. And I was just laying in bed one night. You know, I had done surrendered to God like everything, and give up everything and gave him my life. Told him where I stood and what I wanted. You know, and I was sincere about it. And I was just laying in bed one night, man. The officer come in there and told me, said, Eddie, you need to pack up. You finna transfer. And I knew I wasn't transferring because I was locked in at that camp. And I told her, I said, well, you got a mistake. You got the wrong Powell. And I said, I ain't going nowhere. I said, you got to have the wrong person. I said, I need to go talk to the lieutenant. And I ended up going to talk to the lieutenant. This was at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, they transferred during the night up there in Georgia. And I said, Lieutenant, what's going on? I know I ain't transferring to going to another camp. And he was like, well, I ain't supposed to tell you this, but you going back to court. So you transferring back to the county jail. And I was like, okay, that's a little better. That's a better understanding, you know.
Did you have any inkling of this? I mean, were you doing attorney stuff or anything?
Man, I had done told God I'm ready to do these 40 years.
And they just called you back to court. That's amazing. That's a miracle. Okay.
That's only the beginning.
Okay, so back to county jail you go for these charges. What happened then?
I went back there, and as soon as the sheriff seen me, the sheriff knows me down there. I've done a lot of work on his rental properties and stuff. He knows me pretty well. And he come to work the next morning, and I was there. And he asked me what I was doing there. I said I was going to ask you the same thing. And he didn't even know why I was there. And I ended up calling my lawyer at the time. My lawyer didn't even know. So he got on the phone to find out what was going on, and kind of find out I was there for sentence reduction.
Wow.
And I ended up going to court the following day. It was 2 days after I got there. I sat there for 2 days, and I went back to court. Okay. I got in court. I figured I was going to be first or second one to go to court because I was in a jail. They normally do us first when you're in jail. But they waited till last to do mine. And the judge, he called me up there, and he said, son, he told me right there in front of everybody, he said, I don't know why I'm doing this. I ain't never in 40 years I've been doing this. Done what I'm fixing to do. But I'm going to let you do the rest of your time on papers. If you get in any trouble, you know where you stand. And I said, yes, sir. And it was just like that.
Wow.
That's my right hand to God, brother.
Wow. That is amazing.
That's when I knew God is real.
Absolutely. Okay, so you were basically on parole then at that point, right?
I was on probation, yeah.
Oh.
Even on parole.
Okay, wow. So this is, you're 24, you're 26, is this, roughly?
Yep. And I had a bunch of years on probation, and I had, after I got out that time, me and my girl got together. We had another child.
This is number 3?
We got 3 kids.
Okay.
And I told her, I said, I'm not dealing with no drugs. I ain't selling no drugs. I took the money I had. I got my business going, and I was going to church every Sunday, you know what I'm saying, doing everything God I could do for God, you know, but she didn't like that part. So me and her ended up getting a divorce or split up because she wanted to pass money and I didn't. You know, so I said, I take that. And I told her, I said, I found out she was doing drugs in the house with my kids. Of course, she's the woman. She had the kids at the time, and I found out she was doing drugs around my kids. And I ended up talking to some people that worked at Tupac, and they was going to help me get my kids. And I told her, I said, well, you can come sign these papers, and I'll let you see the kids every other weekend, or I might have Tupac come in and take my kids, and you ain't gonna never see them again. So she ended up signing custody over to me.
Wow.
For my kids. And they was young at the time, but they grown. 2 of them grown now, and the other just graduated high school.
Wow.
But I ended up getting custody of them and raised them.
How many years, and how was that? How was raising kids for a single dad?
It's very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
I was spending $300 a week on just daycare bills.
Yeah, it's hard.
My day consisted of never stop moving. I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do all my paperwork, get it ready for the morning, get my guys ready to go to work. I kept 4 or 5 guys that worked for me doing construction work, remodeling houses. I had to take my kids to the daycare center, and later there she'd put them on the bus when they started school or whatever. I'd go work all day and then come back and get them. I didn't want to bring no woman around my kids because I didn't see that. I didn't think it was right. I had a bunch of different women coming in and out, so I was trying to find the right one to settle down with before I brought them around my kids. So that kind of makes it harder on me. I had to cook for them and try to do the hair myself, and it was rough.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good job. Good job doing that. Okay, so where did it go? How did this, sounds like things were going better in your life, minus a few things. Where did this go to the next step?
It was going good. Like I said, I raised them all the way up to high school, and well, I got into trouble down here. I ended up coming down here in 2015 to help somebody to work on their house, and that's where I fell apart.
And
Go ahead.
how old were you in 2015?
I'm 42 now, so that's
32 maybe?
early 30s.
Okay. And so you said this is where you everything went down.
Yeah. I came down here, and I wasn't gonna be down here but a week or two because we were working on somebody's house. I was trying to get my business established down here in Florida. Really, what I was trying to do. But I ended up going to my partner's house that was down here. We was gonna work on his roof and get it back going because a tree or something fell on it during the storm, right before the hurricane. And I was riding around the neighborhood on a dirt bike. I bought my son a dirt bike I found down here, and the carburetor was messed up on it, so I was working on a carburetor, trying to get carburetor cleaner ran through the carburetor, which means I had to run through the gas and run all the gas out of the bike. So I was in the neighborhood riding around just putting, because it wasn't running all the way because the carburetor was messed up on it. So I wasn't driving fast, I wasn't doing nothing reckless or none of that. I done got too old for all that. And this undercover officer that was in the neighborhood I was in, he was looking for a female that had some kind of petty warrant out for her arrest. And so he's in his little personal truck, and he pulls up behind me and turns his flashing headlights on, like police lights. And so I pulled over. I didn't want no trouble. I'm still on probation from Georgia. From that incident, that last incident I got caught years ago. So I didn't want no trouble. So I pulled over. The man gets out of his truck, and I start screaming at me. Somebody get the fuck off the bike, turn it off, and all this. I was like, man, who are you? Cause he didn't have on no badge. He didn't have on a gun, no vest. Nothing indicating he was a police officer. So in my mind, he's impersonating a police officer trying to rob me or take my bike or something. I'm down here and don't know nobody. So I just mashed the gas on him. I left. I didn't turn it off. I left and ran on him. And I got back to the house.
Okay, so you split on this. You take off running on foot, right?
I was on the dirt bike.
Okay, so you took off on the dirt bike and then you headed back to your partner's house?
Yes, sir. I went back to his house. I was like, man, I was sitting there brainstorming. I said, man, I didn't want no trouble. And I told him right then. I said, I'm going to go back out and find this guy and try to fix things. Find out what's really going on. So I jumped back on the dirt bike and went back out there in the neighborhood and found him sitting at the stop sign. And he was sitting there on the telephone, so I pulled up on his driver's side door where he couldn't get out. And I turned my bike off then. I was like, talk to me, man. I said, what did I do wrong? Who are you? And at that time I was looking inside his truck for anything indicating he was the officer. There honestly was nothing in there. I didn't see no vest hanging up, or there wasn't no police badges nowhere. And he wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't even roll down to the window because he was on the phone. I guess with other police or whatever. Cause as soon as he didn't say nothing, I just left again. And by the time I got back to my partner's house, he's done had the neighborhood surrounded. He had a helicopter in the air on the way. He had K9 on the way. At that time, the dirt bike had run out of gas, so I parked it in the neighbor's house, walked behind the neighbor's house, and started running on foot. And I kind of was hiding in the bushes trying to get the feel of what was going on. And it got pretty serious at that point. Me not knowing why, because I didn't do nothing but run. I didn't deserve all this what they had going on. You know, got a helicopter in the air and all this 6, 7 police surrounded the big neighborhood. You know, and over in Daytona, around Daytona Beach area. And so I just started running. And eventually the helicopter spotted me. And it was starting to get dark by that time. That's when the canine officer, he showed up. He was in the next county over training. And he heard it on the radio about what was going on. So he decided to come jump in and bring his dog over there. And the dog ended up getting sent and started chasing me or whatever. Right time I got to the wood line, it was getting pretty dark. I couldn't get to the bushes because just the kind they was. It was like a vine. It was like a bushes with vines all through it. You couldn't really go through them. So I just stepped back and went to sprint, started jumping. I jumped over him, and the darn dog got there right time I landed. And he went under the bushes. And when he got under it, he ended up grabbing me on my leg. And that's when all the other started.
Wow.
And then grabbing the dog by a snout, trying to get him to turn me loose. And that's when the canine officer, he gets his flashlight out and puts the flashlight on me and sees me fighting with the dog. And he still got the leash in one hand. I reckon it's like a 10, 12-foot leash. He didn't want to turn it loose. He was screaming out commands to the dog or whatever. He pulled his gun out and just started shooting. He didn't have a flashlight on me at that time, but I reckon he couldn't hold the leash, the flashlight, and the gun. And he just started shooting. He'd shoot his whole clip out. And that's when I felt the dog turn me loose. And that's when I started back running again. I was in the woods at this time. And they started chasing me or whatever. And appreciate you, bro. They had the helicopter. They had a helicopter on me at this time. I didn't know where I was at in the woods. I just kept running. It was dark. I didn't want to stop. I kept trying to hide. And make a long story short, they chased me all through the night. And I was in like an island, I reckon an island of woods, so to speak. Like there was roads all the way around. Every time I come out to the road, every time I come out of the woods, it was a highway, and there's officers lined up everywhere, all the way around. So I really couldn't get out. And they sent people in all through the night, trying to catch me.
Wow.
And a couple of them threw them old flash bang grenade things.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to stun you or whatever. They done that all throughout the night. They ended up bringing in this machine to come in there trying to find me where I was at. And they couldn't ever get to me because I'd always keep going. And they chased me. I think it was about a good day and a half. And I finally I gave up. I ended up falling asleep. I was in this little hole I found. I thought I was up under enough trees to where they couldn't catch me or whatever, but I was wrong. I ended up falling asleep. They had a bunch of men come in there where they spread out in a line and just combed through all the area. And one of them had stepped on a branch or something and it broke. That's what woke me up. And I jumped up and just took off running away from them, and that's when they all started shooting at me. They hit me, shot me 5 times. While I was running away from them, I got hit twice in my rear end, got one in the back, one in my side right next to my heart.
Wow.
Hit me one time in my leg, which I still have bullets in my leg. I couldn't get out. And it was all because of that. That officer lied on me, man. That I killed his dog. And I never shot a fire. Never shot a gun, pulled a gun, none of that.
Wow. And so how many years did they give you for this?
They gave me 15, day for day.
15. And so you're up. When are you up for parole?
I ain't no parole. I got to do every day.
So you said 15 though, right? 15 years?
Yeah.
But so once you're out, I mean, when are you topping?
In 2030.
2030. Okay.
So nothing changed. I'm still fighting, trying to get some time back.
Now,
And prior to this incident, I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
To this incident, I ain't been in trouble in 10 plus years. You know, like I said, I got custody of my kids. I have my home construction business, taking care of my mama. You know, she's disabled and stuff, and I was doing great. And I even told that to the judge. I was like, man, I didn't come down here starting no trouble. I'm not no bad person. You know, I made a lot of bad choices, but I'm not no violent person, and I sure ain't finna go shooting at no police officer. You know, that's just insane. But they didn't care not one bit about none of the good that I did. You know, my parents, they came to court or whatever and go tell them the same thing, but they didn't. It's like they didn't care about none of that.
Wow.
And I explained why I ran and why I did what I did, but there ain't no excuses, but.
Well, it sounds pretty heavy-handed for something as simple as what it was. That's as easy as it is for your life to flip 180 degrees upside down in the wrong direction.
That's what it did, man.
Wow.
The only thing I've ever wanted in life was to see all my kids graduate and be there for them, which I had every intention to. But because of this incident right here, I only came down here to help somebody. And I was going to go back home.
Now, the chase, that sounds kind of like a nightmare, kind of like a thing of nightmares. Does that still haunt you, the whole chase and that night run?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got hit with one of them flash grenades in the back, and it kind of messed my hearing up and burnt my back because they're very loud and bright. But, yeah, I mean, they were shooting at me. I got PTSD real bad, which I'm on meds for now. I have nightmares of it, which they got me on medication with it, but it don't do no good.
And I would guess that you probably still have some PTSD from the dog actual attack.
I do. It's bad.
Oh wow, brother.
Loud noise when people slam the doors. I don't see the loud noise coming. Like I don't know what's coming. It kind of shakes me. Because you have flashbacks real bad, it gets pretty bad.
Wow.
I isolate myself from everybody. What
have you done to try to help yourself as far as, you know, that PTSD? Do you wear earplugs or is there anything that helps?
I try to keep earplugs in or either the headphones on my head, listen to music.
Wow. All right. Wow, my brother, I really, really, really appreciate your time, and I really, really appreciate your story. I'm sure there's going to be some questions that pop up in the comments and various things. Are you interested in writing anyone that writes you from this podcast?
I would write every person that does write me.
Okay.
I really want to get my story out because it's really sad how this judicial system is down here.
Yeah.
The laws that they have is awful.
It sounds insane.
Florida has the most prisons in the country.
Yeah.
They're overcrowded, understaffed, and it's terrible.
It is. It's absolutely inhumane. I believe the prison system is not a thing of fixing people, and I've seen that. And I talk to brothers all over the place, and it's not what people think it is. And so, brother, I will definitely get this story out. We will definitely put this on the podcast. And for other questions and whatnot, can I invite you back on at another time?
Anytime. Just tell me when.
All right, my brother.
Glad I want to ask the question.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, I will gather the questions. We will get them out, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Everybody out there, this is Eddie Powell, and he sounds like a tremendously nice guy, and this is one of these incidents and cases that is not fair. There's no fair to it, and when you put somebody behind bars for simply driving a motorcycle away, these are the things that can happen to anybody, and so we need to support brothers in change just like this. And so, Eddie, thank you very much for being on this podcast. Much love to you, my friend.
Yes, thank you, my brother.
All right. Have a good week, bro. All right. Take care.